In this video today, I was going to do something simple and I decided to expand on it. I worked with a couple people this week, regular clients, and they both had the same issue with their Proton Mail. If you're not aware, there is an application that you can download and install on your laptop, on your desktop, for Proton Mail that keeps things private, secure, and encrypted. And you don't have to just connect via a web browser. And the reason for that is, there's a couple of reasons. You don't have to use a web browser, number one. Number two, because the information is stored offline, you can use it on a plane, use it when you don't have any internet connections. And originally I was just going to show people that have the newer Macs that have the M1 chips how to do things, because I have not yet done it on my laptop here, how you can use the ARMS version, which basically is code written natively for the M1 chip. But what I'm also going to do is show you how, number one, you have your recovery set up, and 2FA and other things, because if Proton is your main mail client, you definitely want to have these things enabled, and I'm going to do that right after I show this first example. You're going to want to have it backed up. You're going to want to have your private keys so that you can recover something if you forget your password, because I know there are a couple people that have also forgotten their password. But to start off, what we're going to do is show you how to install the Mac ARM version, and we'll go from there. So I already have my Proton configured and installed, and if I want the native fast code that will perform very well on the M1 or the M2 chip on the Mac, you're going to want to download the ARM64 DMG. If you aren't using an M1 chip, you can just use the Mac-X64 DMG, but right now we're going to download this. And we're going to, we'll just put it right to the desktop. I'm going to save it. Oh, I'll speed this up in the video, but it is slow right now. Okay, now that it's downloaded, I'll show you what kind of error you might run into if you don't do a particular command, this command right here. So we're going to run this, copy it, and it's going to give me a message that says an older named ElectronMail already exists. Do you want to replace it or keep both? We're going to just do a replace. It's going to copy that over, and we're done. So we will close this up, and I'm going to go down here and open my ElectronMail. And it is going to fail because it says ElectronMail is damaged and can't be opened. You should move it to the trash. Well, we're not going to move it to the trash. We're going to do cancel. If you get that message, go ahead, get a terminal. Right over here. Once this terminal is open, grab this. So, like you would do, just do a copy. And then bring your terminal over and do a paste. There. Doesn't say yes, doesn't say no, it just kind of runs. So now, what we'll do, close the terminal, we'll go back to ElectronMail. Always allow. And it will open. It's going to take a little bit of time. First time it's open. It may be running in the background. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to hide everything, but now you can see that is how you set it up that way. So that is for anybody that has the Mac M1 or M2 chip and how to upgrade it so that it will function under that. They may fix it in the future. I'm not sure what the issue might be, but there we have it. And on to the next part. Hi, and we are back for how to configure a few things that I think are necessary. I just created this Proton account, and it looks like some of the things that you need to go in and change, they kind of remind you as you set up the account. I've had my Proton account for quite some time, so if you've recently set it up, you probably have this in place if you didn't skip over it. But for anybody that's been around a while, you probably didn't know that these features existed because, who really reads what has changed from version to version. So what we're going to first do, log into Proton Mail. I'm using the web-based just because this is all new and I don't want you to see my other information. So we're just going to start from scratch. Log in, click on Settings. Then what you're going to do is say Go to Settings. This is going to be pretty quick. And then on the left-hand side, what you're going to want to do is click on Recovery. Now it has a little orange circle there. Click on Recovery, and this is where you're going to want to set a recovery email address and a recovery phone number. If you use this primarily for your primary email, absolutely, positively, these two are really necessary. The recovery email address because, I know some of you out there have really old email addresses, but if you lose one of the email addresses that might be a secondary, then you want something that you might be able to fall back on, which is the phone number. If you feel uncomfortable about giving your real phone number out there, then you got to figure something out. But make sure that your recovery email address and your phone number are all there. When you set something up like test@blacklab.net, and you press save, submit, it automatically populates because I have LastPass that I'm using. So you'll put the email address in, you'll press save, and then you'll click Verify Now. Verify Now will send out an email. There's not an email address, so that is going to bounce. And the same goes for a, 515-555-1212. Save, submit, and then you'll click Verify Now. It'll send you a text message, and you put that code in there so that it knows it's a good phone number. If you've already done this and you've had this in place for a while, go back and verify that these are good numbers. Do you have a text now number that you have for a recovery phone number that you put in and you no longer have it? Same with the email address. Make sure that these are up to date. The next piece that you're going to want to have in place is the recovery phrase. And this is a 12-word phrase that you will use if you run into some issues where you will not lose your data if you lose your password. If you lose your password unencrypts the emails in there. For anybody that's lost a password and you've had to retrieve or set a new password on Proton Mail, you'll know that you can't access any of your old emails. But at least you still have access to your email account. So what you want to do is you want to click Allow, Generate Recovery Phrase, and treat this just like your 12 words from any crypto wallet, your ledger, your Trezor, whatever. But I'm not as paranoid about this, so I might keep this in my password manager, not as recovery phrase for Proton Mail, so that it can easily be found. But I'm not too worried about this because not upselling LastPass, but because my LastPass has 2FA on it, or actually 2FA is two-factor, but now there's multi-factor, so it's MFA. MFA, I have multiple things that I can use to gain access, and most of them are all YubiKeys. So I have to physically have a key to unlock my LastPass so I feel comfortable that this is nice and secure. I still don't feel it's safe enough for my 12 words, 24 words for my crypto wallets because there's a lot of money involved. And I don't want to lose that. If I lose, my email, it would really, I'd be really disappointed, but it wouldn't be that something that would devastate me. Losing a lot of money, yeah, that tends to do that. So you can keep these words, you can just copy and put them into your LastPass or your password manager, because I'm sure everybody out there is using a password manager, right? Yeah, well, let's give a thumbs up on that. So you'll copy that, put it into your LastPass, OnePass, whatever you feel comfortable with, and save it. And so there you have it. You don't necessarily need to download the recovery file. You can, but I just do a copy paste. That gives you your account recovery. So if you lose access for some reason, you can recover your account. When you have data that has been locked because of not having the private keys, these 12 words will give you data recovery. So it's important to do both of those. Then there's one more thing. And, these two things, account recovery, data recovery, and now security and privacy. Make sure, no, you know what? It's actually under account and password. Two-factor authentication. Please enable two-factor authentication. If you have a password manager, absolutely positively, without a doubt, you have to have two-factor authentication. Why risk anything like that? But here you can set up 2FA or multi-factor authentication. Here it's 2FA. They only give you one option, which is basically an app that you run on your phone. I would love it if they had the ability to use a hardware key like YubiKey, but for now, just make sure you have those three things set up. I'll go over it again. You're going to want to have your recovery, account recovery, data recovery, I guess I'm not going to highlight data recovery, and then for sure, without a doubt, turn on two-factor authentication. And everybody should kind of know how to do two-factor authentication. When you turn it on, you will set up or open up your 2FA app on your phone. I highly recommend LastPass's 2FA because it is backed up to my LastPass, so that if I lose my phone, I'm not going to lose my 2FA app. I recently had an email from someone and they said, hey, I just upgraded my phone and I forgot to basically turn off or try to move over my Google Authenticator. How do I recreate it? And I said, well, you need to contact each and every company that you set up with your Google Authenticator and politely ask them to turn it off so that you can gain access to it, because there's no real, if you haven't recovered or created a recovery or a backup just before you move from one phone to another, yeah, there's no way to get it back. Not on Google Authenticator. So LastPass backs up your 2FA to the LastPass app, which is encrypted, which you keep locked up with a hardware key, and so it's really safe. Nothing is 100% safe, but this is as close as I think I can get. So that's what we have today. I just thought I'd share those things that I have found with my regular clients. Neither of them that I worked with yesterday had these enabled. And so that's what we spent some time doing, so we could once again make them safe and sound. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.